What's up, crew? Today I'm bringing you my long-term review of the Shuttle LT. The Shuttle LT is Pivot's long travel eMTB. If you're new to the channel, my name is Alan and I'm a long-haired, dark-skinned mountain biker in my 50s out here having rad days on bikes, and I share my adventures with you because I hope that whoever you are and however you are, you'll be inspired to get out there and have rad days too. As I said, the Pivot Shuttle LT is a long travel eMTB, so if you expected it to be a total brawler, you'd be right. It definitely handles itself when things get gnarly. But it's been surprisingly playful on the trail. It's one of those bikes that gives you a lot of confidence when things get demanding, but it also allows you to get creative and take loose lines. The Shuttle LT is a mixed wheel 160-170 travel eMTB, and the Pro EXO build that I rode came from the demo fleet at the Path Bike Shop. If you're looking for anything mountain bike related, check out their website or their location in Tustin, California. The Pro EXO build comes with a Fox Factory 38 fork with the new Grip X2 damper. The shock is the Fox Factory Float X, and Fox also provides the transfer dropper. Kashima, all the things. The drivetrain is EXO transmission with wireless shifting, and the brakes are Shimano XT paired with Galfer rotors, 203 in the back and 223 in the front. The Continental Cryptotals have the soft compound and enduro casing front and back, and are wrapped around some DT Swiss alloy wheels. The drive unit is the Bosch CX Race powered by a 750 watt-hour battery. And you? The stock cockpit uses Pivot's in-house gear, but we've kitted this bike with Deity components. A Race Point 25mm rise bar, copperhead stem, some Super Cush grips, and my new favorite pedals, the Deity Supervillains. When it comes to geometry, I tend to ignore the numbers and pay more attention to how the bike just feels on the trail. But if you're curious, I'm 5'6", which is around 167 centimeters, and I was riding a size medium. I had the bike in the low position, which slackens the head tube angle from 64 degrees to 63.6 degrees. It also shortens the reach from 648 to 644, raises the stack from 645 to 648, and shortens the chainstay from 441 to 439. I took the Shuttle LT on a wide range of trails. Flow trails, tight technical trails, high-speed trails, jump lines, but mostly steep, loose, and chunky trails. My only real gap in testing is extremely technical climbs. I did what I would consider to be reasonably technical climbs, but nothing too crazy. I do appreciate when a bike has good climbing geometry and performs well going uphill, but for the most part, I'm more of a winch and plummet type of rider. So let's talk about what it was like for me to actually ride this bike. The climbing position was pretty comfortable, I felt in control, and had no problem keeping the front wheel on the ground and tracking when things got really steep. When it came to descending, I had a ton of fun on this bike. It's a burly rig, but it never felt sluggish or dead. It will hold a line when it gets gnarly, but can still get crooked when you want it to. It also is naturally poppy. It's not something I would have expected. When I loaded it up for its first ride and felt its size and heft, I thought it might want to stay stuck to the ground and prefer straight lines and big arcs, but it rides surprisingly light. It really likes to get into the air, whether we're talking about a little trail jump or a larger lip at the bike park. It also defies expectations when things get tight and awkward. Rolling through tight switchbacks, the front tracks close without that tendency to understeer that you sometimes get with bigger bikes. And with a little bit of a push, the back swings around easily. In the steep chunky stuff, the Shuttle LT swaps its snappiness for stability. If I picked a line and let off the brakes, there was no shortage of confidence. To be honest, I don't have the skills or the guts to push this bike to its limits. All I will say is that if you want to go big and you want to go fast, this bike will do it. When it comes to the spec on this bike, it is, for the most part, pretty standard, in the best possible way. The only thing that was new to me was the Continental Cryptotals. Just historically, I've ridden a lot of Maxxis rubber, and so when it came to the adjustment period to the Contis, there was zero adjustment period. they felt great, and they just worked. Overall, I really dig this bike and I don't really have anything bad to say about it. But if you're considering getting the Shuttle LT, there are a couple of things that you might want to think about. The Shuttle LT can be fun on the blue and single black trails if you're willing to get aggressive with it, but it doesn't really shine until you get it onto the more demanding trails. If you're not riding super gnarly trails on a regular basis, it might be worth considering something more like the Shuttle AM or the Santa Cruz Vala or other bike in that class. All bikes that you can purchase and demo from the Path Bike Shop. Link in the description. Something else you might want to consider with the Shuttle LT is the Bosch motor that it comes with. If you want a silent bike, you'll want to look elsewhere. The CX race motor does rattle a bit on the descents. It's nothing like the rattle you might know from the Shimano EP8 motor, but it's there. It wasn't enough to affect how much fun I had on the bike, and I really only noticed the rattle when I'm watching my POV footage. Another thing to consider with the system that comes on the Shuttle LT is that you can't upgrade it with the new touchscreen that's coming from Bosch. I personally don't mind having a simple panel, but if you're the type of person that likes to have more information readily available at the touch of a finger, you might want to consider something that comes with a Gen 5 Bosch motor, maybe the Santa Cruz Bullet or something like that. One last thing about the race motor that comes on this bike, it is a punchy motor. So this is Bosch's performance. Oh my god. Okay, that was a really good example. Try this again. See, that time I knew he was coming and I was able to use it. It is so cheater though. And I mean that in the best possible way. You might actually like it, but it does require a bit more finesse when things get technical. I'm sure you can tune it some using the app, but it's just naturally more sporty. Things might change as software updates come, but it is something to keep in mind. All that being said, it's best if you can try out the Shuttle LT for yourself. So if you can find something like a Pivot demo day nearby, or if you have an awesome shop like the Path Bike Shop that has bikes like this in their demo fleet, that would be the ideal situation. So the Shuttle LT will go along with you if you want to ride the more mellow trails, but it really is going to be stoked on the gnarlier, chunkier trails. I personally would be happy owning this bike, but I do have a few more bikes that I need to try out before I make my final decision. If you want to see what I'm up to, you should check out this video here, and if you've made it this far, you might as well hit the like button, and if you're digging this channel, hit the subscribe button, but only if you're really digging the channel. Whatever you do though, get out there on your bike and have a rad day.